Hello, all my humans with boob sacks. Yeah, I said it, boob sacks. I know I should call them breasts, but I don't want to. I'm not working in a hospital setting today, and I need to let loose just a bit. So cut me some slack here, okay? We all need comedy to survive it, I swear. My name is Tali, and I am finally holding up my end of the bargain and getting around to discussing all the things that had to do with the lead up to my becoming a previvor and choosing to go forward with the double mastectomy just a few short months back in February of 23, for those of you who weren't in the mix with me yet. So I want to start at the beginning as it relates to my journey. And while I know everyone's path with this will most certainly be different, going about it this way, I think, will be the most natural form of delivery I can give you. Sprinkled, of course, with educational tidbits, tips, and some sarcasm along the way, because that's just what I do. So think glitter and fairy dust, and let's dive into it. Today I want to talk about breast fibroadenomas. And for those of you out here going, what the hell are those? I want to tell you that true fibroadenomas, and I'll explain the true later, are benign, meaning non-cancerous breast lumps, masses, or tumors, if you prefer, made up of fibrous and glandular tissue who most often occur in young women. Now, I'd like to point out here that just because I've alluded to the fact that it's young women does not mean that the older age group cannot get them. They most certainly can. And to really throw your brain mush into a tizzy, I'd like to remind y'all that really anyone with breast tissue can grow themselves their very own fibroadenoma. Congratulations. This includes men. Although, fun medical science fact time, it is extremely rare for men. Only about 15 cases total, according to an article from the NIH, and they're usually derived from gynecomastia, which we can touch on at a later date if anyone is interested. But I digress. The questions of the hour are, how do we know if we have one, and what the hell do we do if we do? So let's start with the how do we know piece. What you'll feel, either by doing a self-breast exam or because someone else notices it first, if you know what I mean, is a lump that is smooth, round, and firm to the touch. They can vary in size, some being as small as a pea, and some coming in hot as the size of a golf ball. Rude. And it's gonna feel, for lack of a better word, slippery. What I mean by that is when you run your fingers over the location, the lump will almost seem to run away from you. And so while that seems strange, it's actually a good thing and helps to confirm to your doctor that it is in fact a fibroadenoma. It's a different story when a lump that you feel is connected, misshaped, or has a rough edge. Slippery in this sense equals better. So now to the bigger question, what do we do about it? When you find any new lump in your breast, or anywhere on your body for that matter, and I mean this, y'all, get it checked by a medical doctor. I know I'm here telling you that a true fibroadenoma is benign, but sometimes, and here's where the true part comes in, we need to look deeper into the structure of that mass or tumor to really get a good look at its makeup and what its intentions really are. Because some of these lumps be masters of trickery and deceit, y'all, like my first one was, but we'll get back to that in a bit. It's a given, at least it was for me, that when you find your first lump, you're gonna be scared. And it's natural. I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that I was scared shitless. And for anyone who wants a refresher here, I found my first lump in my right breast during a dance workout in 2011. It was about the size of a blue cheese olive, dirty martini drinker here, clearly. And while it didn't hurt, it was closer to the surface of my skin rather than deep into the stromal tissue. And it caused irritation to me when wearing a sports bra. So what did I do? Well, I immediately freaked the fuck out, cried a titch, had a martini, and then went forth, got my shit together, meaning I called my doctor. Because of my family history of breast cancer, my doctor's recommendation was to send me for a breast ultrasound to confirm that we were really dealing with the fibroadenoma. And just so you know, this is a pretty common step, so don't be alarmed if your doc wants to do this after they finish their initial exam. Ultimately, what the ultrasound will do is show the radiologist, who is the board certified doctor who legitimately is an expert at looking at x-rays, ultrasounds, CTs, MRIs all day long, that your lump holds the qualities they expect to see in a normal benign fibroadenoma. They will also take specific measurements of the lump so that now a baseline is established. Many times, if the lump is small and not painful, they'll recommend a breast exam follow-up in 6 to 12 months. But where this requires some extra attention on your part is this. If at any point over that time frame your lump grows to the point you can tell easily by palpation and touch, or becomes painful with any form of skin changes like dimpling, redness, or protrusion, you need to get your ass back to the doctor for a recheck. Stat. Why? Because any lump that grows quickly needs to be handled. Does that mean it's now cancerous? No, not necessarily, but it does mean that something has changed, and it's better to be safe than sorry. In my case, the first lump doubled in size 3 months after my ultrasound. It also became painful, and again, due to the family history, they then suggested a biopsy. We'll talk about biopsies in the next video. I want to do how to prepare for them and what to expect, so we'll do that next. But my biopsy did actually come back as a fibroadenoma, and it was suggested to just watch it for another couple months. But I was working in oncology or cancer at the time and knew that I did not want to wait and see. In all of my medical history, I've been adamant about getting in front of things before I'm already so far behind that catching up is freaking impossible. So I made a choice to find a new doctor and get a second opinion. And I want y'all to remember, it is okay for you to do that too. The new doc had me scheduled for surgery within 2 weeks, and we chopped that fucker out. So best case scenario for me. Not everyone will feel the same, and that's okay. You have to do what feels right both medically, financially, and personally for you. So remember when I mentioned true fibroadenoma before, and this is not to scare you, but it's to help everyone be aware that things are sometimes not what they seem. I'm also not going to say that my case will or can happen to everyone, as many people with fibroadenomas just either learn to live with them or have the problem lump or lumps removed with no residual medical drama. But for me, when the pathology came back after my lumpectomy or the removal of that first tumor, it came back as a phylloides tumor, which is most definitely a lesson for another day. Many surgeries and biopsies later, and my boob sacs had to be evicted, y'all. So back to the fibroadenoma thing though, some people have many of them and just learn to accept them as extensions of their booby beings. Some people get them all removed. Some choose to monitor every 6 months or once a year, depending on what works for them and what their doctors recommend. Every case is truly different, but here's something a little empowering and slightly positive. Having a fibroadenoma doesn't increase your risk of breast cancer unless you know you're genetically inclined or have family history. But no matter what, it is still crucial to stay vigilant about your breast health. So let's talk about the importance of spreading awareness. I have met so many women throughout my journey who are shy or worried about sharing their stories, and that's okay. But for those of you who are comfortable, please share this video with your friends and family and followers. Let's break the stigma and encourage some open conversations about boob sacs or breast health. Boob sacs. I like boob sacs. So let me call them boob sacs without getting me canceled. Seriously, it makes me so happy. Please don't hate me for laughing at my own misfortunes, okay? Please. Or if you want to, then come at me and we can talk about it. But thank y'all for taking this ride with me, and don't forget to follow for more videos about boobs, bladders, painful intimacies, surgeries, and martinis. I clearly need to talk a bit about martinis at some point. I am who I am. Have a good day, y'all.